Yeah. Hey, what's up? This is your girl Diamond. Today, we're going to talk about tricking. It is 10. Hey, Trashawn. Hey, Miss Polk. How are you? I have had a wonderful chill day full of relaxing and good shows. Hey, Magic. How are you? Not frying fish at 10 p.m. Work. Good evening, Small. Mm. We're going to give some folks some chance to come on in. If you are new here, welcome. Make sure you subscribe and set the, what they be saying, set the notification bell so when I go live, you'll get the notification. Sometimes, because they be tripping sometimes. Hey, London. Um, yeah, we just be talking about random shit. If you are a regular here, make sure you thumbs up. You know how we do. Eating some delicious green grapes. Mm. Before we get started, we talked about this last night on the live show last night, but I won my second GLAD award for the book project that I participated in called Becoming Who You Are, Real Stories About Growing Up Trans. This is me right there. Boom. My little boy self. It is so cute. It's just a story about me growing up. And of course, story that they focus on is when I sued my high school to go to the prom in a gown. It is illustrated by Cameron White, a queer illustrator. So this is me and Cameron, and then they tell the story of me suing my prom. But they start off by telling the story of me and my mom. And so there's a lot of details that I haven't really talked about to y'all on here, but really specific to my childhood. And so what I think is really, really cute, look at this picture. This is my brother peeing in my face when I was changing his diaper. So that's how some cute little stuff that happened. And somebody that y'all know, this is when me and Ty first met each other in the group home. Look how fish they made Ty. And they made me the tray. I live for that because she was fish. She's still fish, of course, but when she was younger, she was so small and dainty. And so that's me and Ty meeting in the group home together. And then yeah, they just tell just a whole bunch of stories. Just a different story with my mom, different stories in high school, and it's so dope. So if you want to purchase it, you can purchase it on this link. This is my particular link, so I can make some coins off of it. And yeah, I really, really love it. It is a children's book, so it is for kids. It is no kind of salaciousness or, it's definitely not for adults. It's for kids. And yeah, it's just so dope. So there's that. And yes, we got nominated for a Glide Award and we won it 2 days ago. Yay! So there's that. What else? What else? What else did I want to talk to y'all about? Just to get stuff out the way. Um, oh, we are having here in Houston. I am a commissioner here in Harris County on the LGBTQ plus commission in our great city of Houston, Texas. And we are really down here in the fight in Texas. Just how it is, because it's a red state, conservative South, blah, 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 blah. We are doing a banned book fair. And I and other members of the commission will be intentionally going to one of our most conservative districts and doing a book fair at their most fanciest library because the librarians there support us and we are going to be there, you know, just showcasing amazing children's books. And of course, mine will be there and other people's, and just, banned books that really just tell amazing stories about LGBTQ people. And yeah, we want to kind of support the teachers and the librarians who want to have a vast array of type of storytelling. And so yeah, we're going to do a book fair in June. I think it's going to be June the 21st, because books are amazing. Like, what are some of your favorite books? What are some of your favorite books that kind of taught you how to be yourself? For me, when I was a kid, we talk about children's books. When I was a kid, I loved Matilda. Matilda, I love, 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 love. This is super, super old, but I loved the Boxcar Children. Now, I grew up as the oldest child of three children in my mom's home. And in my home, the Boxcar Children, when I was, this is before my brothers was born, but well, which one was born? Either right, only one of them were born, or like they weren't born yet, because I was an only child for a very long time. The Boxcar Children was a story about, it's like a second grade book, so it's not some heavy, heavy book. But it's two boys, two girls, two older boys, two older boy and girl, and a younger boy and girl, and they were homeless and lived in the in a boxcar, like a train boxcar. And so it was just a story about how they were surviving and how they were, just a family together, and really just lessons about brotherhood and sisterhood and taking care of your siblings and hardships. It just made me have some type of sympathy about people who were homeless or people who were going through hard times that wasn't in a situation with other people. Um so yeah, I love that, and I love Matilda. I love, what other ones did I well, the Where the Wild Things Grow, is that what it's called? I'm an old head, so these are old. Um I When I was a teenager, I loved Stephen King. Even that wasn't for kids, but there was a book specifically for, I don't want to say it specifically, no, it wasn't for kids, but it wasn't like his normal books. It was more fantasy. Like, it was called The Eye of the Dragon. And it was more about kings and queens, and it wasn't necessarily about monsters like Stephen King is known for. But it was good. It was about this kind of rivalry between the prince and a bad prince and a good prince. It was good. I loved it, loved it, loved it. It was called The Eye of the Dragon. It was one of my favorite Stephen King books. My favorite Stephen King book is The Stand, but one that has a more younger theme would be Eye of the Dragon. So yes, I think books are important. I think books are important. I think, um, yeah, it's just amazing. So we want to make sure that our LGBT students and our librarians know that we are supporting them. So we're going to do a banned book fair in um, in District 3 here in Houston. And just to give you some vibes, our commission has a representative of all the districts, and that's one person, one district that don't have a representative, that didn't send a representative there because they apparently think that they don't have any queer people in their district, and y'all do. So annoying, but yeah, we love it. All right, so let's get into the topic. Who y'all say? Junie Jones, word. Goosebumps. Come on, Goosebumps. Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a good book for kids. I think it's amazing. I think it has tons of lessons in there. Um, yeah, despite the author. Judy Bloom. Come on, Judy Bloom. Amelia. How do you pronounce that last name? Bedelia? Amelia Bedelia. Be careful. These MAGAs are crazy. I'm crazy too, Dreads. I'm crazy too. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I wasn't slightly off my rocker. I'm definitely not going to live in fear, baby. Living in fear doesn't give people freedom. So I'm off my rocker too, honey. And I'm a Texan. We all can carry guns, baby. We all can carry guns, baby, without a license and shit. So the same thing that made them firearms made us firearms, and we don't mind pulling up too. And they don't really be as tough as they be acting. They don't really be as tough. Alrighty, alrighty. You giving Phyllis Hyman teas tonight? Yes, I have my essential hat. I have actually I have like three of these. I have like this gray one. I have a pretty sparkling green one, and I have a black and white one that is so cute. Same exact pillbox round pillbox hat. I love it. It's one of my favorite hats. Um, I have on my orange cute earrings, and this shirt is made by Cat Black. These little cartoon characters are her design. And I got this probably about 10 years ago because I support the girls. But she was selling a line of t-shirts and mugs and just different stuff about 10 years or like 2015. And I thought that this design was so cute because it has so many different type of faces on it. And when the girls are artists and people that I actually like, now this doesn't mean I like everybody or I'm gonna buy everybody's shit. No. Because sometimes people just be sending me stuff thinking that I'm gonna support it, and I'm like, no. This is corny. This song is corny. This product is corny. Or I don't like it, or it just doesn't vibe with me. But this vibe with me. It's all these girls. It has a little stain on it for me eating earlier. But all these different girls' faces, and yeah, and it was a trans woman who was created because if you don't know, Cat Black, on top of being a brilliant mind and a social commentary, she also is an artist. Like she went to school for animation and stuff like that, and so she created these t-shirts, and I was like, oh, now this is my type of shit. So I bought it 10 years ago, and I still have it, and I love it. So cute, supporting the girls and their things and their talents. I live. What do you think about them questioning PBS programming? They have always questioned PBS program. That this is not a that is not new. So what do you mean? They've been doing that. Like they've been trying to debunk PBS. All the programs in PBS that they try to do when we think about shit. Remember when they used to attack Sesame Street, when they used to attack what was her name? Butterflies in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look. I'm reading Rainbow. It's in her book. It's reading Rainbow. I can go anywhere. Friends to know. It's ways to grow. It's reading Rainbow. I love it. Reading Rainbow, which led to so much literacy. And we need to bring a version of that back, honey, because some of these bitches is retarded. No, not retarded. Wrong language. Some of these bitches are illiterate, and we got to get reading back up. Anyway, yes. So they've been attacking PBS. Been doing it. I actually do have a recording of my remake of Reading Rainbow. And I love it. It's one of my favorite recordings. I mixed up Reading Rainbow, Sesame Street, and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. The theme songs of all three of them, I put them all in one song and gave it like an R&B churchy flair. It was like a medley of those songs, and I love it. A lot of adults cannot read and or comprehend well. It is crazy. It's crazy, and it's going down and going down and going down. And the fact that they are trying to um, dismantle the Department of Education in the midst of this literacy crisis is insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane. Got no bang. What group sings that song? Fast. Hey, Blessing. Hey, Camille. I know she'd love seeing this. I've been following you both forever. I posted it years ago. She saw it. She saw it before. Not now, but when I first bought it, maybe like no. I didn't even post it. I didn't even show it to her when I first bought it, but I had reposted a picture where I wore it at an event and just tagged her. And she was like, "Oh my God, I never saw this." And that was probably like 6 years after that. But yeah, she's seen it. The dumber they are, the more likely they are to follow. Absolutely. So I was gonna say Run DMC, but I looked it up. Not Run DMC. Like our president, he has a dialogue of a fifth grader. Oh, child, annoying. All right, so what I got to get to what I wanted to talk about. So y'all see the title. Make sure if you are here, it is 30 people in here. Make sure you thumbs up. Only 11 people has thumbs up. Just thumbs up. Engage with it. Not the Beastie Boys. Nope. Insane in the membrane. If I Is it predatory for me to be going after my trade's father? Like multiple ones? Like if I meet your daddy, if I run across your daddy and he fine, I be trying to have him. Is that predatory or nah? Like say it's a piece of trade that I got and I follow him and he show me his daddy. I be trying to follow their daddy and try to have him. Is that like, sometimes I be doing it. I be doing it sometimes. A lot of times. I did that the opposite way before, where I had a piece of trade so this is how it happened. Let me see, what time is it? Oh, 20. Okay. I'm trying to control timing. So I remember when I was 26, I was having this dude who was 36 that lived in Memphis. And so, whew, you know how you have a session and when you think about it, you be like, Lord, them was the good old days. So they don't make dick like that no more. This is one of them. He was a rapper. One of them kind of, them niggas that they are really, nigga, you too old to be trying to still chase a rap dream, but you're not old enough to give it up yet. Like it's like, you in that kind of like early 30s. It ain't gonna happen, bro. But you still chasing it, and you got a local little fan base where they kind of gaslighting you into thinking that you still can blow up, but it ain't happening. That's what was happening with him. But he was chocolate, he was fine, dick was huge, everything was love, and he loved my draws, baby. He loved me. And I was 26, between 20, 25 and 26, somewhere around there. And I would go up to Memphis during my sex work days, honey, and he would be my, my little breezy that I would hook up with on the slide when I done made my money. What's up, Trey? Da, 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 trade your hook up with for the fun of it. So got my life. Just understand that he's everything I want and need. Tall, 6'4", dark, dreads, piece right, body right. Just gorgeous. So, anytime I come to Memphis, we hook up. Then one time, this little I go back to Memphis and no, I don't go back to Memphis. I'm in Houston and I'm in Houston, so in my city, and I meet this young boy. Now, at this point, I'm 36, and this young boy is probably like 26. Now, when I meet him, he looks super familiar, but I just can't put my finger on where I've seen him. And then he added me on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, I know you. You are, wait." Oh, when he added me on Facebook, I see pictures. I don't know him. I know his daddy. So when I see pictures of him and his dad on his Facebook, I was like, "Oh, you is such a such a." So when I was 26, he was 16. The young boy. He was 16 and his dad was 36. So now I'm 36 and he's 26. And his dad is 46. So I'm at 36. I'm at that age where, honey, I can have your daddy and I can have your son if I want to. You get what I'm saying? If I want to have. And so that was what was happening. I met the 26-year-old son and he hit me up. And the dad calls me hits me up on Kick. This when Kick was popping. Y'all remember the app Kick? And he was like, "What's going on with you and my son?" I'm like, what you mean? What's going on with me and my son? He was like, you didn't tell him that you was my little, my little, yeah. I was like, I'm not your little nothing. First of all, I haven't talked to you in a long, long time. Like it's been some years since me and you hooked up. Some years. Like almost like 10 years at this time I hadn't hooked up with him because I moved from Jackson. So when I was in Houston, I rarely went to to Memphis like that. So I ended up going to Memphis for a little gig. And I had that son, and that son meat was just as big and just as good. And I told him, I said, baby, this is equal opportunity booty over here. Long he 26, baby. He fully developed, and that's a younger model of yourself because they look just alike. Except he's the 26, baby, and he knows my tea. He don't know your tea, but he knows my tea. And so I had the son and the father. So I have been that was a dope little father and son little thing. I'm like, yeah, I felt good. Like I had the father and the son, and and the Holy Ghost, baby. Then another situation happened where I had an older client. This happened to me when I first moved to Houston. It happened probably 2008. Um, and I was having this client. He was cool, saved his number in my phone. Then I was having this other dude. They didn't really look alike. That he was another client. They didn't really look alike because because the dad was kind of like brown skin and the son was kind of like just kind of little. He was kind of light skin or whatever, but they just didn't look alike. So I didn't put it together. But had the dad. He was a client. Saved his number in my phone as if y'all see in my phone, even to this day, I have the most strangest like contact names. Like I name people what I think like what would remind me of who they are. Like this one. 80 dark skinned 20-year-old Dunvale. Or Black Dress Young in 2013. Boss G Weed Man. B Pumper Cop Client. Bird from Tag, Billy Anthony. That's just kind of how I have them all named in the situation. So, C. Thomas, BBW customer. Just different people. That's how I got the names in. So, this one, I had his name saved in my phone as like an older trick that and I probably said something about what he likes, like shit that he likes. Cause I like to, if you remind me what you like, I'll be like, oh, I know him. Da, 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 da. So, and I put either if I meet him on Craigslist, it's CL. If I meet him on Backpage, it's BP. If I meet him on Eros, it's ER. Like I put a code of where I met them at. You get what I'm saying? Because that lets me know what range of price that you're gonna charge, all that kind of stuff. So I had his name as Black Older Client, something that he likes, and something that he likes and where I met him from. Dark skin Mike with the charge of $300, right? Just so I could keep it, just keeping track of what. See, I have the same prices. I have different prices for different sites, so I don't need to put the number, the how much money. I just know that I charge this much for this site, this site, this site. So that's how I was. So yes, the son sees me, also a client. Oh, I'm wearing what is this one called? Vanilla Rouge. Turn it this way. Vanilla Rouge. This is a very berry, like raspberry, blueberry, strawberry, vanilla. It is woodsy a little bit too. It's just it's so sexy to me. And this is, can y'all tell? Versace. And it is so good. That's what I'm wearing today. Anyway, so the client, I love it, 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 love it. So the client calls, he comes, the young boy, the son comes and he calls me. He we have our little session, and so it's time for him to get up out of my house. So he goes to his car, and his car won't start. So he comes back to the door, and I don't open doors. When you come back to the door, I'll open the door, baby, because I think you try to rob me, so you can't come back in. And so when I let you out, baby, you're gonna get the ear from the door. So he's like, yo, my car won't start. It's blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh, he was like, can I use your phone to call my people? And he was like, my phone is dead. And I was like, his phone was dead. That was the truth. So I went out, I went to he went back and tried to start his car, and it wouldn't. I could see from the window that his car wouldn't start. So I come out because I know where I live. So I lock my door and come out, and I let him use my phone to call his dad to come and get him a jump. Soon as he dialed his dad's number on my phone, it pulls up that he already saved in my phone as a particular type of client. And his dad thinks that I'm calling him, which you don't call no damn clients. His dad thinks that I'm calling him, but when his son answers the phone, dad hurry up and hang the phone up. He calls him back multiple times and he answered the phone. And then he tells his dad what's going on. And he was like, can you come get me a jump? Because blah, 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 blah. And his dad say, yeah, I'm gonna come. So his dad ended up coming to get him a jump. And then he's asking me questions about his dad. How you know my dad? Why my dad in your phone? Blah 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 blah. I was like, nigga, don't ask me no questions about your dad. Same reason why you in my phone, he in my phone. This is common sense. I'm not gonna tell you nothing about him. I'm not gonna talk to you about him. This is what it is. Don't ask me no questions, just like I won't ask him no questions answer no questions about you. That's just not how it is. Only reason why this happened is because you needed to use my phone to fucking get your jump. But you ain't about to mess up my money for you. But he actually did mess up my money because he called, he did come and give him a jump. Super, super awkward because now they both know that they're into trans women. This particular one, at least. And so gives him a jump and they drive off. I did see the son again, but I didn't see the dad again. That it kind of ruined my relationship with the dad. Because the dad thought that it was some kind of setup. And I was like, wow, what would I benefit from that? Like it didn't make sense, but I also didn't care because I was making money, so I don't care if I'm not seeing you. But yeah, that was super, super interesting in regards to me having a dad and a son. Those are my dad and son stories. So now that I'm older, it's kind of a little kink of mine. Let me pull your daddy. Let me pull your daddy. Dark. Are we froze? Are y'all still here? Before I play this video? Y'all still here? Or is it frozen? Okay. All right. So this is what we're going to talk about today. When people are paranoid, they come up with the most crazy stuff. How and why would it be a setup? Child, I don't even know. What kind of money I get out of that? By using your son to set you up. What did I get out of it? Just talking crazy. All right, so y'all know who Funky Dineva is? Y'all should know who Funky Dineva is. Y'all on the internet. Y'all know Funky Dineva. You old YouTuber, kind of went on to do different shows like Fox Soul. Um, I don't know what they kind of washed up now, right? They kind of washed up now, but um, I don't know what they're doing now. What is Funky Dineva doing now? But anyway, Funky was on this podcast, and so I wanted to talk about what they're saying. So they asked her. So apparently, people are talking shit about her, claiming that she's a trick, like saying that she spends money, pays people to have sex. Now, I ain't never gonna shame nobody for being a trick. I think if you got the money, you need to be a trick. So it's never gonna be a joke or something that I would make about somebody. I don't really care. But she was on the podcast and she was talking about it. So I want to play it for y'all.
Oh, Funky Dineva has such low self-esteem and so unattractive he has to pay for sex. No. That's not what it is. It's a power play, right? It's got a big I walk into a room and I want you. Uh-huh. And my ego wants you. Mm-hmm. And I want you tonight. And I can look at you and tell you got a price. Mm. So when everybody not looking, I'm going to walk behind you. I'm going to whisper in your ear, and I don't have time to waste. Mm-hmm. So with this, though, because I never thought that I would be somebody that partook in high-end
high-end prostitution.
Sex work is honest work. And this is what Bevy helped me understand. She said, it's somebody that wants sex, and it's somebody who's willing to offer it for a fee. Okay. Fair exchange is no robbery. Bars.
All right, so it's a couple of things that I want to talk about with that. First of all, nothing about what he said is forward thinking or groundbreaking or anything different. He is a man with resources, and he's using those resources to get access to somebody's body who doesn't have the resources. Groundbreaking. Riveting. Oh my God, it's never been done before. That is not something special. That is a classic trick. That is not something abnormal. That is what's been going on. You got money, you want a certain girl or you want a certain boy. You use that money to tantalize and to seduce them into having you. That's normal. Oh, I don't know who that other woman is. So that is not groundbreaking to me. Like you're not saying anything groundbreaking. Cool. We know what prostitution is. We know how it works. Okay. But only problem with what I had with what he said is when he says, oh, it's a power play. Now, if you just say, yo, I just kind of, I got the money. I know you got a price and I'm trying to skip the bullshit just so we can hook up. There's a difference between that. But when you say it's a power play and you're positioning the power play as something that's opposite of low self-esteem. Because that's what it was. The read was, oh, he's so unattractive and he's so has so much low self-esteem that he's tricking on people. So his rebuttal is positioning power play as the opposite of low self-esteem when actually it's not, baby. If you are using it as a power play, it too is rooted in low self-esteem, because you don't have you don't have enough pull as far as either your social capital in your look or your celebrity to make people just want to have you. And so it's not giving you access. And you are trying to use your power in resources to do something with people. That's still rooted in a self-esteem thing. If it's about power. Now, if it's just about getting to what you want, there's a difference. But if you think that this is a power play, then it's still rooted in self-esteem. That's just what it is. He wants to believe it's above a sex worker. Girl, you want the ass and they want the cash. If anything, they're above you. So somebody says, he ain't said nothing wrong. You pay for it one way or another. If it's dinner, shit, my time, my attention, it's just as valuable as money. So we all pay for it. I paid for a whole wedding. It sounds like somebody who's bitter. Here's another person, which I think is really dope. Jayla Sings. If you don't know Jayla, she's been on the show. Jayla Sims, the singer and background singer extraordinaire and songwriter extraordinaire. She says, "Oh, girl, Miss Dineva, you washed up. If y'all fall for this bullshit, then y'all just as washed up as her. She loves to hate on the trans girls, but honey, we don't ever have to pay to play. Now, usually we don't, but I know some old bitches that is out here tricking and tricking in some kind of way. Not even old. I know some young girls who just want to have a fine butch queen on their arm. They may not be tricking on the tray, but they will have these butch queens all around them and tricking on them for celebrity. Especially if the butch queen want celebrity, they'll be in your face." And then somebody says, y'all talking shit about him while y'all are paying admission fees to get into sex parties. What's the difference? It's all sex work, baby. It's all the industry, baby. Somebody said, ain't no money in the world that he could ever pay me to get me in the same bed as him. Somebody said this conversation is bigger than the host is capable of handling. Oh shit. I hate moments like that. I hate which is a lot of podcast moments where I'm like, oh, y'all don't really have the range for this conversation. Y'all trying to have a deep conversation, but y'all don't have the education and the range to have it. And that's always kind of like, wow, y'all are missing the mark here and y'all are making content out of it. And it's wild. Did you hear that he said about transgender women in sports? He actually agrees with the other party. Trans women can't have everything. That was in his own words. Oh, we know that Funky Dineva is a transphobe. We know that. But there's a lot of listen, it's a lot of y'all favorite trans people, y'all favorite butch queens that really align with transphobic rhetoric, like they, especially around like trans sports and just a bunch of trans stuff. Some of y'all favorite trans people. So that's not you know that's not out of the norm. This is the way he talks about it that sounds so gross. He sounds like a regular man. Oh, this is part two. I have to watch this one. I always thought she was cool. Ra, I don't know no Ra. I know who Ra is. She was the one that was on Love and Hip Hop New York, right? if I think correctly. He wants to believe, I already read that. No shade, but even my gay friends that aren't so attractive have no problem pulling fine trade for free. But also you got to understand it's not just about free, it's about ease. You can pull, but what if it's one that you can't pull? Like, yeah, you can pull trade. You feel what I'm saying? You can pull trade. If you can have somebody for free, but what if it's this one that you can't pull them? It's like there's too many other, even if they have boys for free, there's too many other fine boys that you got to do something. I don't think it's always easy for a lot of people. And sometimes it's just the ease of, it's that, like, I know this dude, he can pull. I know he can pull. Like, he's so fine. He's so gorgeous. Anytime I'm out with him, he is getting hit on. He's just an attractive man, but he likes this particular type of person, and he don't like the bullshit. So if his mindset is, if I can just get what I want quickly, it don't really matter. If I can trick, I ain't gotta pretend that I want to be in a relationship with you. I ain't gotta take you out on dates. I ain't gotta blah 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 blah. Great, let me do that. Let me offer you $300, $400. Let me get it out the way. It's not about him not being able to get it. But I knew that from my own personal sex work days, because there was men who would come see me, and when I'm early in the career, I'm like, God, why are you tricking? But that's because I was childish in my thinking about how sex work works. Because I used to be like, you ain't got to pay nobody. Shit, if I met you on the street, I'd have had you for free. I would be thinking like that, but I didn't. It's because I didn't understand that I wanted a particular way. I want a particular thing. I want I don't want the bullshit. I'm also paying for your discretion. If I'm taking you out on dates and blah 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 blah, you might mess up my other shit I got going on, whether it be a wife or just another situation. It's so many things that the money changes. It changes. Like, this is a business transaction. So it ain't no kind of emotionality. You ain't thinking I'm about to be your man. So you ain't gonna be calling the wife and all that kind of shit. Yeah, it ain't like that. Or I ain't got to jump through the hoops that somebody else might force me to jump through. I feel like most married men that will do some gay shit do it for free. Jokes on him. But I think he dates butch queens. I don't think he dates. I don't know. I don't know his sexual prowess, but I be thinking he dates butch queens because he's talking about meeting them in clubs. Is he friends with T.S. Madison? I think they are still cool. I wouldn't say friends, but I think they still cool. We kind of talked about him on the other live. I'm picking up what you putting down. Oh, I wasn't sending those subliminals. Was it some kind of subliminal that you picked up? What did you think I meant? Let me rewind this live since I just came in. Sometimes it's I want you right now, no type of thing. Some people don't feel like taking the time to put in the work, right? And so it's like, if I can just pay you, let's get that out the way. Congratulations on the win. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's the thing. I really don't see anything wrong with it. It would be healthy. It's just that shit Stankin' Deneva was saying was weird. Yeah, I think that's what it is. You're trying to make it seem, I guess, like it's some power play. Nigga, it ain't no power play. If you could pull for free, you would pull for free. Because I don't think nobody wants to be a trick. It's just convenient. If you can get it for free, you will get it for free. But some people want to make it easier. And so my question to y'all is, what circumstances would make you be a trick? Now, as an ex sex worker, I just haven't got to. I guess I'm not old enough. I'm not. Niggas be throwing me dick, so I don't ever. I just never got to the point where I feel the need to have to pay somebody. Now, maybe if I was Miss Major, like if I was Miss Major's age and I was too old and I couldn't pull, but shit, Miss Major is pulling her trans men and stuff. So I don't know. She having babies in her 80s, child. For me, I guess if I get so old that I can't do nothing, but I'll be broke. I don't want to spend my money on no fucking dick. I guess for me, it would maybe be an age thing, like if I'm too old. But I feel like if I'm so old, I ain't gonna be thinking about sex. I don't know. He feels that he's undesirable and he's trying to spin it like he's that nigga. As of now, my pride and ego is way too huge. I'm not there. Right. That's kind of how I feel. My pride and my ego is just too it's too much. I just can't see myself. That I ain't even met nobody that I would. You more easily. You could easily get money out of me. A piece of trade could easily get money out of me for like a charity situation. Like, I know your house burnt down and I'm trying to help you, but for me to pay you to have sex with me, no. I just can't see myself right now at this juncture in my life. I can't see myself being there yet. But I can see myself if I got older, old, like unable, like if I'm walking down the street and ain't nobody trying to holler, I just ain't got that. Sometimes it's just access. Most 30 plus guys don't want to go to the bar club to meet guys. Could be. On one hand, the thought of paying makes me not horny. I like to be lusted after, and I don't need you lusting after the coins. True. I feel like he never could pull before the money, and now that he got a few dollars, he's trying to play big dog. That's a good point. Do y'all think he's unattractive? Do y'all think fucking Dineva is super unattractive? Like where he couldn't pull nobody?
The narrative becomes.
I don't know if he's hit like that.
Oh,
I don't. Yeah, I think when he cleans up, he could be cute.
That's not what it is. It's a power play, right? I walk into a room and I want you.
I don't know if I don't know if I don't think he's super unattractive. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't find him to be super unattractive. Yeah, I don't find him to be super unattractive. Now, if you are colors or something and you don't like dark skinned boys, then maybe. But I don't find him to be like, if he walked in the room as a client, you ain't gonna be disgusted. I wouldn't be. He ain't. He ain't gonna be like, oh my god. He ain't gonna be that, but I ain't gonna be like, ugh. He's very regular. I don't think he's super busted. I wouldn't have him though. Yeah, he wouldn't be somebody that would have that I look at and be like, I would have for free. With the right swag, he could be an attractive man. Yeah, I think so too. He looks better as he got older. On the other hand, it sounds like it could be a convenient setup with a level of professionalism and none of the silly shit that comes with the trade. For sure. It's not necessarily his looks. The few things that I know about him makes him disgusting to me. I know every isn't that though. Everybody isn't that though. Yeah. Yeah, I know through his commentary and through other people's commentary, I know he's a cokehead. I know he has this kind of very, very spicy butch queen personality. I don't find his mind to be um very appealing. Um yeah, I just don't I find him to be a misogynist when it comes to women. I find him to be anti-black. I find him to be like a classist, like that kind of classist butch queen. Of course, I find him to be a transphobe. I just don't find him to be. I just don't see his personality, but I can't imagine that he don't run into butch queen that are exactly like him. I know a couple of them. I don't care for anything to do with him, and he's not funny to me. I've watched in the past, not recent, but in the past, when he used to hey Nessa girl, he used to dare to the bed. I used to live for his antics back then when he would do like kind of reviews and stuff. It was kind of funny to me. My nose is itching. Mm. Yeah, I found him to be quite like funny at the time. I don't think he's very unattractive, but he's not conventionally handsome either. No, I agree. That's when I found him in this channel. Sorry, that noise was so funny. What noise? The my pecan? Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's the lights. Yeah, I find that to be. I find him to be weird now. So another thing that I just recently found out. I didn't know that it was. I didn't know. Did y'all know that Craig Mack died of complication with HIV/AIDS? I didn't know that. They said it was a heart condition when it first came out, but they unsealed his death certificate, and it was complications from HIV and AIDS. I didn't know that, and so I'm gonna read this. This is Rolling Stones reported Craig Mack, brand new flavor in the ear. According to the Rolling Stones, he died August the 16th last year. His death certificate. They uncovered his death certificate and said that he passed away following a battle with HIV. His first wife, Roxanne Alexis Hill Johnson, his daughter, Amanda Mack, and his younger brother, Andrew Mack, opened up about the rapper's life. And his brother said, "It's truly, honestly, I never seen a human being in that condition. He was catatonic. I believe he was very much in denial, but that's him living in his truth to the end. I know that sounds really, really crazy, but you have to know him to understand that. As much as that bothers me, I understand why he did what he did. He lived his truth." I don't even know what the fuck that means. Me. I'm like, what? You live in your truth by denying your diagnosis? I know why, because of the fucking stigma. But but the brother and the ex-wife think that he learned his diagnosis before he left his hometown in 2007. He took his two children and traveled to South Carolina, where he joined the Overcoming Ministry. So he got in the church. This is so old school. Like, this is the problem with stigma. It allows people to kind of be trapped in this shame and not able to talk about it, so they can't find out about stuff because they're too busy in fucking denial. And so they jump into getting in the church. I done seen so many queens do this where they don't want to accept their diagnosis and they get to go into church. Like, girl, what? And it's their way of coping, but they don't have enough people around them that they can share with and talk about and it give them to get on their meds. Especially somebody that's living the straight life. So in 2014, Mac already shown signs of his failing health after he lost a drastic amount of weight and was frequently sick. He originally told people that he had a congestive heart failure. He was hospitalized once and took medication, but he didn't seek out any further medical treatment for the HIV. Because, and another element of this is he's like a celebrity. So, and not a rich celebrity. So, with a certain amount of money, you can protect your privacy with your doctors and NDAs. But if you're a old celebrity that don't got money like that now, people will be giving the information that you on meds to reporters. So it can turn into a whole thing. In 2018, Mac was walking with a cane until he became bedridden. His family drove down from Vermont to spend a few days with him and say their goodbyes. He passed away at 47, right before they got back home. So at least they got to see him. There's still a lot of questions of Mac's family about his life that they will want to answer. The ex-wife is producing a documentary that she's developing. and they recorded his final interview before his death for the documentary. So at least we'll get to see him talk about it. So, but that's typical to how stigma works. Because it just puts people, when you, especially somebody that comes from his era. He's about let's see. What are y'all thoughts about that? About now? Like stigma now. I know it's still there. I'm not asking you if it's still there, but what are some of the things that are stopping people now from getting on medication? Yeah, he's about 10 years older than me. And it was just a different era. That means when the AIDS epidemic was going on, he was 20. When it was starting and getting heavy, he was like 20. Yeah, like it was in his early 20s. Garbage healthcare system, money in healthcare system, really making it inaccessible unless you go through all of these fucking programs. Anti-black queer phobia, absolutely. What else? Shame. Conservative black folk. How so? How can what? How do you think conservative black folks contribute to it? The stigma of getting people not getting on meds. My ex roommate was with a guy. He wasn't taking his meds until she called and made the doctor appointment for him. No idea why, but he didn't do anything unless she pushed him to do it. Hmm. I don't think it's a wrong or right answer. I think people just be scared. We already going through mm, we already going through all kind of other shit that's stigmatizing us, that's stopping us from making connection with people. Sometimes people just be scared. And I just think it's sad. This has me thinking about the current stigma around long COVID. People who are downplaying symptoms, but how they are pushed to make protecting yourself from it masking inaccessible or even illegal. Yeah, I be seeing people being weird about COVID. Like, I think somebody said, I saw a post where somebody was saying, "Ooh, who has it?" Like their status was, "Who if you haven't got a COVID vaccine, if you haven't been vaxxed now, I commend you because you have survived the pressure." It's always pressure. It's always people trying to force you to get these vaccines and blah, 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 blah. And you fought it. And in my brain, I'm like, oh God, like, I've never been an anti-vaxxer. I've been, I got two shots and my booster. But I just think people are kind of have y'all heard the story about the girl? Anti-vax is anti-intellectualism. I agree. I agree. It just feels dumb. Have y'all heard the story about the woman, the baby who died of measles because they refused to get their child vaccinated? Like literally, her children caught measles, and one of them survived, and the other one died. And they sat on the news and asked her, like, "What? Like, yo, what is your like? Do you regret it?" And she was like, "No." I'm like, "Really? You lost your baby because you wouldn't get them vaccinated? That is wild." Like it's literally like polo shots, and it's literally like we don't see nobody with polio no more because the vaccinations work. It's very rare that you meet somebody. I remember back in the day, I met a couple of people. Like I had a teacher in my elementary school who had polio, and so she was in she had one of them. She had I don't know what it's called, but basically her shoes, one had to be longer than the other. One had to have a platform on it because her foot had deformed from the polio. And then in another elementary school that I was, there was a teacher. That was a teacher. This was a teacher who had polio, but she was in a wheelchair and her foot was all deformed because of the polio. And they talked about it. And they talked about how we didn't have vaccinations when we were younger. We didn't have vaccinations when we were younger. So once we were able to get the vaccination, we got it. And so yeah, it's crazy. The last person on an iron lung died from COVID because they weren't masking in his healthcare facility. Didn't several presidents die from polio? I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe. I'm pretty sure some did. Let's see. Okay, Google. What presidents died from polio?
Here are some results from a search.
FDR. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Mhm. Yeah. FDR. I feel like we'll be wearing masks again by the end of these 4 years. Based on another COVID mutation or just another disease you think that's going to be coming. And if something else happened like COVID, what do y'all think? Do you think people would be more? We had never had anything like happen like that since the 1900s. Do you think people will still be susceptible or not susceptible? What's the word? The opposite of resistant. Um, I guess accommodating to like a shutdown. The air is dirty without a pandemic. Yeah. mm. Yeah, I found. I just thought that was sad that you would let your baby die. People would be against it even more. So, listen, I thrived during the COVID. I thrived during that. That was fire for me. This is why I love Stylus. This is I never would have put these colors together, but oh, I love that. I love those colors. That red and that baby blue and that green. This has been Affleck's cover shoot for GQ. I would have never put that together, but that's so fire. Baby blue slacks, green shirt with the maroon socks and shoes, burgundy socks and shoes. I love that. People would be against it even more. Yes, that is really sad. They have measles parties where they purposely infect each other. Damn. I can't judge them. I'm not me. I don't want to. I ain't never did no shit like that. But I hear there's so many different groups that have their version of that. I remember people was trying to get HIV and sharing the gift and the bug because they were like, oh, if I get it, then I don't have to worry about the anxiety that comes with catching it or some shit, some logic that they were saying. Where I'm like, okay. Mm. Oh, wasn't there a person who died after a COVID party? Child, it's crazy. Hey, Kamala or Kamali? Is that how you say it? Kamali? Not Kamala. Kamali. Yes, he was 30. Wow. Mm, 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 mm. No. I need to try my phone. I have to go pee, y'all. HIV bug chasing was huge in the early 2000s. Young homeless gay men were trying to get infected with HIV because of all the free services. Ooh, I remember. I definitely remember. Especially in places that had, like, who had the free services, like in New York and Cali, shit like that. Yeah, I remember. I remember trying to get the gift. Bug chasing. All right, I'll be back. I'm about to use the bathroom. Wait, let me let y'all listen to this. So I was gonna go into this topic about this little boy and his father, where he's cussing him out for playing with a girl's toy. Now the toy that they're playing with is an iPad, y'all. Listen to this. Man, it's a girl toy. It's an iPad. It's a girl toy, damn it. I don't give a damn what you had. You don't play with no girls' toys, boy. Didn't I tell you that? Come here. What I told you? Don't play with what? Leave that shit alone. Before I turn you to a pack, boy. What clip that was, gang? Clip this is, chat. And they got girls' toys. Man, that's a girl toy. She doing with a girl toy, damn it. I don't give a damn what you had. You don't play with no girls' toys, boy. Didn't I tell you that? Come here. What I told you? Don't play with what? Leave that shit alone. Before I turn you to a pack, boy. What clip that was, gang? Clip this is, chat. And they got girls' toys. Man, that's a girl toy. She doing with a girl toy, damn it. I don't give a damn what you had. You don't play with no girls' toys, boy. Didn't I tell you that? Come here. What I told you? Don't play with what? Leave that shit alone. Before I turn you to a pack, boy. What clip that was, gang? Clip this is, chat. And they got girls' toys. Man, that's a girl toy. She doing with a girl toy, damn it. I don't give a damn what you had. You don't play with no girls' toys, boy. Didn't I tell you that? Come here. What I told you? Don't play with what? Leave that shit alone. I thought that he was so weird for that. He said he would turn him into a pack, meaning kill him. Isn't that crazy for you to say about your child? Wow, I've never heard of COVID measles virus. Baby, any disease, baby, that got people, some people respond to it very weird. Fuck that abusive father. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's to smoke you. It means to smoke them. Mm. Jay says, as a young male child, one of the things that made me sure of my queerness is how many times I was corrected for doing girl stuff. If everything I like is for girls, then I'm not a boy. Duh. Sounds logical to me. These are the type of young men that watch Andrew Tate. You know what? I don't be wanting to I don't know how to engage that with those men or boys, young boys who are kind of having these kind of issues with loneliness. You know the shit that they be saying, they're lonely, they're disempowered. Can you avoid that? You can't avoid it when other marginalized groups start to become empowered, you have no choice but to diminish their power. That comes with balancing things out. So if they're getting to that point where they want to off themselves, what are we supposed to do with that? What are we supposed to do with that? You feel alone and lonely because you can't have respectful conversations about women or with women. You can't stop objectifying them. You can't control your patriarchal desire to think that women owe you sex. Like we're supposed to. What are we supposed to do with that? That is where I'm always at. I'm like, okay, you have these issues. What are we supposed to do? I'm not catering to it. You need to get a therapist. Yeah, that's exactly what he was talking about. What do you say to people like this? My boyfriend lets his baby daddy talk like this, and my best friend, BFF, I think that's what it means, lets her baby talk like this, and it makes me so uncomfortable to be around. I don't have kids, and I love my friend, but to me, this is too much. There are people in the mom's Twitter comments posting the things he's done that are basically mimicking women from his audience. What's their point in doing that? I'm not understanding. What's the point in them doing that? Literally makes me cry. Then when we wonder why some men turn out so violent, homophobic, and evil. I want y'all to be careful too. Like that's the default. If you didn't turn out, if you didn't turn out violent, homophobic, and evil as a man, you survived the conditioning. You went against the grain because the default is to make you violent, show your anger in violent ways, to be homophobic, and that turns out to be evil. Did you watch Adolescence on Netflix? Not yet. I plan on watching it soon. Um, that's like the default. So it goes back to what I was saying a while ago, or a couple of lives ago, where I hate when people be acting like you need to be DL to be homophobe. No, like the default is to make them homophobe. They don't need to like men secretly to be homophobe. They can be straight and homophobe. I feel like it is a homophobic take for you to think that you have to be an undercover homophobe to hate homosexuals. Like that is to me that feels like an internalized homophobic take. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to y'all? Like if you think that a person has to be an undercover homosexual to hate homosexuals, you don't find that to be weird. I don't feel that's true. The default is to make straight men homosexual. You can be straight and hate gays. You don't have to be some secret gay to hate gays. It's like they're trying to say he's DL. He has a video with a wig on where he's pretending to, well, it's rape culture. Has his pants down with a gun, threatened to harm a man. He's dangerous, not DL. That sounds fucking weird. Yes, it's just weird. It takes the heat off of the straight man. If they're terrible to women and homophobic, then they have to be gay. That's crazy. I think that's weird. I think that's strange to do that. I think that's homophobic. And this doesn't mean that DL niggas don't exist. Yes, absolutely. But but you can be not DL at all and be homophobic. And back to the BFS conversation, because how do y'all feel about that? Do y'all feel that I don't know. I feel like that is a glimpse. If you allow your man to be mean to your children like that, I feel like that is an indication that you feel the same way as that man. Like if my homegirl is allowing her husband, boyfriend, husband, baby daddy, whatever he is, to be homophobic to their son, they agree with it. They agree with it. That's why they think it's okay. No, I can be friends with you because that's your life, that's your business. I can be friends with you because you're a grown person that's not my child. But my child, we gonna nip it in the bud. This is how I think we're supposed to raise children. Like they're hoping he scares the gay out of them. Absolutely. And that means they agree. I just always thought that was weird. If you got a friend that every time you at their house, you hear the baby daddy and blah, 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 calling people faggots, calling people, and then they sitting there, that's because they agree and they do it too. They just want you to come over and do their braids. They want you to come over and do their makeup. They still want to have access to you, but they don't really condone you. They want to have access to you. And sometimes they be wanting to have access to you just so they can get the gay teas in the neighborhood. And they be having, and butch queens be having so low self-esteem that they'll settle for that kind of BS just to have a friend. There'll be this, clock this too. They'll be the ones who they'll be the same motivation for this is the same motivation for this. So the same people, the butch queens that be like, I'm not gay, so I don't have gay friends. So I don't really hang with butch queens, other butch queens like that. There are some feminine butch queens who are like, I don't hang with gay, so I hang with fish. Gays is just they too messy. They do too much and da. So I only hang with cisgender girls. And just to have a friend like that. they will break their neck to just keep that cisgender girl as their friend. I remember the first time a sister to woman made it clear that she would never date a homophobic man. A light bulb went off in my head. What went off in your head? What was the light bulb? I know I'm late, but now that Trump is in the White House, nobody's definitely not getting tested. They were not doing it anyways, especially the cishet straights. Hmm. It is. Even if you feel for your child, you don't care enough to stop him because the fear he'll end of gay is greater than the love they have for them. And you being gay is a failure to a lot of parents. And they much rather I feel like they prioritize they think that they're doing a service, their parental duty to not fail you as a parent. They rather have a dead kid than a queer kid or a traumatized kid. I don't think it ever I think it more likely goes. There are some extreme versions that go violent to the point of fatally violent, but I think it really just they don't mind traumatizing you with physical violence or verbal violence or emotional disconnection. Because I know a bunch of the of course we don't want the violence, but I know a bunch of gay men's fathers who are in their lives who emotionally disconnect from them because you gay you're ashamed. I'm ashamed of you, so I can't really connect with you. I might connect with the other kids, my straight kids, but you I can't connect with you, so I'm emotionally unavailable to you. I just do my basic take care of you, but I'm not breaking my neck to be emotionally available to you because you also you're shameful. If you get violent, I know I'm gonna call them people. Yeah, I'm one of them people. I baby, I don't know. I'm not some. I ain't never had no biological dad in my life. I had stepdads and blah 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 blah, and my mom didn't allow my stepdads to, in general, whoop me. I've been whooped by my stepdad once, each one at once. One because my mom was pregnant, two pregnant to whoop me at the time, and then another time I can't remember exactly when. But my mom didn't generally let men whoop me, and so I yeah I never been the type that let people just be violent to me because I was only allowed to get whoopings from my mom. So somebody else being violent to me, no. No, we're gonna have to battle. I don't care if I can't beat you or not, we're gonna have to battle. And then as I got older, my mom too, bitch, I'll beat your ass. Stop playing with me. I never had to ever fight my mom, but I did have to tell her one time, like, yo, you think I'm gonna let you just whoop me? I think I was like 18, 19. Yeah, like 18. I was like, you think I'm just gonna let you whoop me? Ma'am, no. I would leave before I fight you, but I'm not gonna let you hit me. I'm not gonna let you hit me. I'm too old for that. I'll get out the house or I'll leave or whatever, but I'm not letting nobody put their hands on me at this big age. No. And she understood. She looked at me. I was like, I wasn't that nice about saying it. I was packing. How it happened, I was packing my shit up to leave the house because I had got into it with my grandmother, and my mom came in the room because she kept telling me to be quiet, and I was like, I'm just gonna get out the room because I'm not gonna be quiet. If she talking shit, I'm gonna talk shit. So let me just go here and pack my shit up and leave. And I was angry, so I was rumbling stuff. And my mom coming up in the so mind you, I'm already at 10, cussing my grandmother out. My mama come in the room and she like, what she say? She was like, if you throw one more motherfucking thing, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I picked up a clock and slammed it up against the wall. I said, do you think I'm gonna let you whoop me? And it's the first time that I had ever said something like that to my mom. And she looked at me and closed the door. I was like, baby, not today. It's a new time. But this is after my mom had been going through her addiction for a very long time because I'm 18 and she started like when I was 11. So this is years of her just neglecting, and I don't have the same respect for you that I did before. And so, baby, if you think I'm gonna let you whoop me with a belt or with your hands or any of these motherfuckers in this house, put your hands on me and I not fight y'all with every bit of my fucking soul, you got another thing coming. You best to leave me alone. You best to leave me in. And she believed me. We talked after that and she was like, yeah, you had never talked to me like that. I was like, no, I hadn't, because we had got to the point where we ain't got to do all of that. But I don't know what you was feeling that day, but I know what I was feeling. I ain't letting no motherfucker touch me. Period. And I ain't never been whooped since. Last whooping I got, I think I was like I think I was like 10, baby. I done been through too much. By the time I'm like 18, baby, ain't nobody whooping me. Sorry, baby. Good luck. Make sure you thumbs up. So, I'm still traumatized by my family not helping me with my desires for men when I was in high school, and I'm still in the closet because of it. And I'm still in the closet because of it. Were they supposed to help you? Explain that to me. Explain what you mean by help. Is it something other than just be open and supportive? Because who is supposed to help you with your desires? Because it's also a thing that's like, sometimes you ain't supposed to be having sex. Sometimes we feel like you ain't even supposed to be having sex. You need to worry about school. So what does it look like to help you? They rather pray the gay away. I don't know. It's like, how would you have wanted them to navigate it? What would be the best way for them to navigate it for you? You said you're still in the closet now. So if you're an adult now, why are you in the closet now? I'm trying to understand, like, now that you're free, why are you still in the closet? Why? If it's not a, you don't have, I'm trying to, how old are you? Like, what's your age? But you're not, yeah, baby, you too grown. If you were 18, 19, 20, still in college, maybe let's say 24, I could get it. You too grown. At 31, you too grown for me to for it to still be about your parents. I don't think you should be embarrassed to talk about it, but you gotta also take on your you have to take responsibility once you become an adult. I understand it when you're still a teen and you haven't figured out, how to pay bills and da 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 da. But once you get, I feel like once you get to like 25, there should be some there should be you taking the reins of your life and getting out in the world and do your thing on your own. Because there's two things that I think is I don't know. I might be speaking from a place of privilege too, but because I never had to experience that. I had to experience some of my family being weird, but not my mom. But she had some weirdness about her too. But I just feel like if you're not putting up the fight for them to treat you better and you just going with the flow, it gets to a point, not when you're a kid, but when you become an adult and you still feel unsupported, it gets to a point where you have to accept that you are accepting it. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's different when you're forced in it as a kid. But when you get to a certain age, you get to choose your family. You get to choose whether you engage with them. You get to choose whether or not you still in a household. You 31 living with your mom. I'm sure it saves you money, which is okay. But that's the sacrifice you're making. You're saving money, not being on your own to be able to live with somebody who traumatized you and you can't be yourself. Yeah, I get it. I'm not saying I understand that there can be some economic reasons, but I can't hmm, how can I say this? I don't know. I can't really explain it. I I rather be living in the projects in my own space in some cheap apartment than living with somebody who I feel like is traumatizing me. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I would be I would have my shitty job. I would be doing Uber. I would be doing all kinds of gig shit to where I can take care of myself, even in a cheap ass apartment. Like I would move to another country. I would, honey, in Cambodia, they got apartments for 250 a month. My homeboy lives in an apartment right now in Cambodia for 250 a month. I would do that before I would live with somebody who was making me feel traumatized. But there's places in our country that is inexpensive. Now they ain't gonna be the nicest upscale um locations, but you can move to cities that are just, that you can survive off them. There's remote jobs that are good. It's ways and you gotta be upward mobile. And I'm not talking about to be rich. I'm talking about how can you become the manager? How can you become get in retail? Retail, you can be a retail manager. Retail managers making 30 to 50 to 60 to $70. I was making 70,000 a year. I was making $64,000 a year at a retail store, and that's retail. That's something to live off of where you can live on your own. Like there's other jobs that you can do. Now I don't know your situation, but um we gotta think we gotta think we gotta take responsibility of the choices that we're making and sacrifices that we're making too. I'm somebody who don't, honey, I've been homeless, I've been broke, I've been so you I can't I'm somebody who can't make excuses for people when it comes to about money and survival. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I'm a black trans woman. I've been fired for being for being trans. I've had many obstacles stop me from getting um many obstacles in my way, but I had to maneuver to make it work. And sometimes that means do things that I don't want to do. Be at jobs for this amount of time till I get to another job that's better. But what I'm not gonna do is be in the house with somebody that I can't be myself in. That just sounds weird. I just haven't came out to no one. I'd rather have my own place before ever doing that. And I don't have a degree, so that's why there's many people out here making money without a degree. Degrees barely matter anymore. Degrees barely matter anymore. Everybody got a degree. So they don't even make you, not everybody, but it don't even make you competitive, especially if you just got a BA, just like a 4-year college degree. That's almost like a high school diploma now. I live in the projects with my mom. I grew up in the same place, and I'm still currently living in. Yeah, why you can't get your own place in them projects? Because if they the projects, they not expensive. And also, you're not pushing your mom to get better. That's another element. You're not pushing your mom to get better. If you're not out and you're hiding it, how is your mom gonna learn that this is not okay if y'all are not having the conversations? Sometimes people first change is when they have a gay child. That's how my mom has learned. My mom used to be homophobic as hell. But when she learns her child is gay, even in tough conversations, she learned and eventually got better. If you're not pushing them to be better, is your parents old? You 31? How old is your parents? Are they old? Are they disabled? Like why? Like what is the benefit for you being there? She lives in a project, so I'm pretty sure she's on some kind of assisted living, I assume, like some kind of fixed income. 61, right? She old. So how are you? Yeah, if imagine how are you pushing her to be better? She needs you. Right, she needs you. One of the demands would be, oh, you gonna treat me with respect, or you're not gonna have me here to help you as a disabled older person. That's a perfect segue to have somebody respect you. I'm just trying to if you're not pushing them to be better, what's the purpose? You just kind of sitting there being, it just doesn't, I don't know. It's not about being a coward. It's you just thinking about it in a different way. It's not about being a coward. It's about why are you not giving them a chance to learn and grow and be better? What is making you not put them in a position to grow? Why are you sacrificing your comfort to allow them not to grow? Especially if it'd be different if you lived in the fucking, your mama house is fire, y'all in the fucking suburbs and blah, blah, blah. You live into the you living in the projects? Cause I know that apartment is small with two grown ass motherfuckers. You living in the projects and that's worth your dignity? Like, it'd be different if your mama had this lavish house and I'm living with my mama and it's love. Y'all living in the projects. That's worth it? It wouldn't be worth it for me. I don't know. It just wouldn't be worth it for me. Yeah, I just can't see the benefit. I just can't see the benefit being worth it. Cause you could be in your own shit free. Free of judgment. And she can be taking care of herself with her judgment. But if she's disabled, I would get 3 jobs, borrow from my 401k, all for my sanity. Yeah, I'm really trying to understand what's the benefit. Now I'm thinking about it like it's literally no benefit. If you're in a project apartment with somebody who does not accept you, what are you getting out of it? It would make sense if it was, like I said, your mother lived in this amazing house where you got your own room and you gonna inherit the house. She live in the project. You ain't even gonna inherit her house. So I just don't see what you're getting out of it. Yeah, I just don't see. I just don't see the benefit. If you are an able-bodied person that has a job, that's working, blah, 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 I would be in my own shit. It don't have to be fancy, but it'd be my own shit, and I ain't got to worry about being judged. Yes, but how is that changing though? Like, what's the average cost of how is that changing? How are you trying to change that though? So if you have a shit job, why is the job shit? So I'm trying to talk you. I've been in a situation where I had a shit job. So I'm trying to talk you into doing better for yourself. So if you got a shit job, what are the steps to get you to a better job? Do you need to become a manager? How are you doing that? What is stopping you from doing that? What is stopping you from getting another job? What is stopping you from getting two? If you have one shitty job, what's stopping you? Why you can't get another? And when you add them together, boom, you have a nice income. There's too many sides hustle. DoorDash, Uber. There's too many side hustles out here that you can do and make money. Do you have internet skills? You can get on Fiverr, Fiverr, and offer your skills. Can you run somebody's social media? There's so many different things on the internet that you can tap into. So many different certifications that you get, IT certifications. How are you? Hey, LaRue. How are you, while you're in these project situation where she paying all the rent, how are you upgrading yourself so that you can make money? You're 31. Like, there's ways. I'm not saying that everybody has this amazing job, but it's people out here hustling to have their own stuff. And you could be in a place that's cheap by yourself, or even have a roommate. At least your roommate wouldn't be judgy. Do you see what I'm saying? There's way that you can get out here and do and make money. And I'm just talking about the legal stuff. I'm just talking about the legal stuff. You have to be more diligent about your own care and your own needs. You can't just accept, oh, I got one shitty job. Bitch, get another job. You got a car? Do DoorDash. Do Grub, what is it, Grubhub or whatever. I wouldn't even be in the house with my mama. DoorDash, Uber Eats, merchandiser. If you might pay for it, yeah. It's a lot of gig work out here that you can do and make money. I wouldn't even have time to be in the house with my mama, my homophobic mama, because I'm stacking my money up so I can have my own place. And that don't mean you gotta. It's setting the boundary. I understand this is my mama. She might be problematic, but I just want to be there for her. Cool, I get that. I'm not saying cut your mama off, but you don't. You can. It can be what you want, how you want it to be. I'm only coming to speak to you and say hi and blah blah blah. See if you're okay. Blah 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 blah. But if I have to be in your life taking care of you as a disabled mother, then I need to be able to be myself because I'm sacrificing my time to take care of you. So I should the bare minimum is I don't need to hear you be homophobic. The bare minimum is I don't need you to talk shit about me being queer. That's the bare minimum you can ask somebody while you taking care of them. Or if you can't, get somebody else to do it. Use your money to get somebody to come here and take care of you instead of me. But if you're not doing that, you're not pushing them to even be better. They don't even know they need to be better with you because you're in the closet. They don't even know. It sounds like both of y'all are creating that home and both of y'all need respect. Absolutely. My parents were not homophobic. I tell people that they were black flower children, like hippy dippies, but it was still hard for me to have a conversation about me. So I didn't come out to my family until I was 27. Yes, I'm not saying that you need to come out. I'm not saying, it's no timeline with coming out. But I think as an adult, I understand it when you're 18, still living in your parents' roof, or a teenager still living in your parents' roof. I understand it. I give it to like 25. But at 25, at tw- hey Faith, that part too. If you're not bringing girls over, and you 31 and you ain't bringing no girls over, and they done stop having the conversation about, oh baby, when you gonna get married? When you gonna get married, baby? They think you 31 and you ain't trying to have no girls. What sequence of events led to you assuming the lifestyle you have? I think are you asking me that or asking somebody else that? Or Dave that? I think any adult, once you get 25, I feel like between 18 and 25, that is your time to figure out adulthood. Like that is your time. If you have a good parent, that is your time to figure out adulthood. You need to figure out where you're gonna stay on your own, what your career path may lead to. Maybe you might not be shut down every single thing, every decision. I'm gonna be this, da, 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 da. But at least how I'm gonna get out. You should be on the path of figuring out your adulthood. I'm asking you. So your question was, what sequence of events led to you assuming the lifestyle you have? Oh my God, that's not a easy question. Um, Me being trans, me becoming trans led to the lifestyle that I have. Me being my mother being an addict led to the lifestyle that I have. Um, my education led to the lifestyle that I have. My connections with people led to the lifestyle that I have. Um, my failed romantic relationships led to the lifestyle that I have. It is so many things that led to the lifestyle I have. I can't narrow it down to one thing. So you would need something a little bit more specific if you want to know. But everything, my race, my gender, there's so many things that led to the lifestyle that I have now. My location, I live in the South. My location, I live in Texas. My state, my city, I live in Houston. There's so many things that led to the lifestyle that I have now. Oh, wow, I know that building. I've been watching you since I was 12 and I'm 29 now. I have learned a lot from you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting. I just feel like even on the not coming out, if a man regularly discusses with his peers how many in every conversation, how many partners he had, does that make him suspect? Oh, I don't know. What do you talk about? We're not talking about DL men. What is that? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that makes him. I don't care about how people discuss with his peers. If a man regularly discuss with his peers how many what? Like how many partners he had in every conversation? How many partners he had does how I don't know. If he's discussing how many partners he's had, that's just male culture. That just seems normal for men to be boastful about their partners. So I don't know what that has to do with the conversation. But if you're just asking that, I don't know what it means. That just seems normal, like normal man conversations. Ooh, let me brag about how many bitches I done fucked. That just seems normal. But Dave, I think that you have to be more diligent about becoming an independent adult. So let's start there. Become a more independent adult because then you can have those conversations with your parents. It'll be more comfortable. Just you living in your mom's house, it just gives it gives her a certain amount of power and to exploit you and not actually learn. When if you had your own place, and I'm not talking about some fancy situation. If you are hustling to have a better job, you are hustling to um and I'm not talking I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I still don't have a silver spoon in my mouth. Anything that I have to hustle for it every fucking year. I gotta get every fucking year, every fucking through how it's just a hustle. It's always been a hustle because I didn't have anybody to fall back on. Unlike you, I didn't have a mother that I could go live with. So I didn't have any excuse. Like I couldn't you have a mother that at least let you stay with her. My mom was an addict, so she never had her own place for me to kind of come and mooch off of her. I never had that kind of safety net. So there was no such thing as living with my mom. Like, so you are blessed in that sense. But I'm telling you from somebody who had to get it from the mud that it can be done. Like you just gotta hustle to do it. You can come up in the ranks of retail. You can get different certificate. You can be a forklift driver at these fucking warehouses. I don't know where you stay, but every place got a warehouse somewhere. You can be you can get forklift certification. You can it's so many things that you can do. Like just to get you a leg up to be able to get your own spot and get in just to have a place that is your own, even if it's a roommate situation. And think about other states. Think about other states. Like I know in Seattle, my homeboy, when he first moved to Seattle, he was paying $125 in a co-op. And all he had to do was, honey, cook every one. They had a certain day that he had to cook, that every person in the house had to cook. He had to cook one of the days. Um, and he paid $125. And he had his own room that had his a bed and he had his own little space. But he was free to go and come as he pleased. And he paid $125. So thinking about the options, and he didn't know nobody from there. He moved there from Wisconsin. So sometimes having freedom is sacrificing. You have to sacrifice some things. You have to work hard to get there. It's too many gigs jobs. Tons of people are out here having gig jobs that they can do. If politics is like a way to avoid war, and this asthma cycle focus on trans people, including NBs and particular trans women, if only as a proxy for weirdo agenda, then do it count as I have no idea what you talk about. I don't know what the hell that meant, Slick. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you live alone? Yes, I live alone. I've been living alone since I got my first apartment when I was 16. I got fired from my job for being trans when I was 18 from rallies. And so I lost my apartment, and then I moved in with my mother in Mississippi, my mother and her boyfriend when I was 18. I got a job, and I was like, oh my God, because I can't stay here. So I need to get a job and be able to, and my mother was accepting. So it wasn't like I can't stay here because she's rude. It's just I didn't want to be in the house with my mom and her boyfriend and my little brother and da da da. I felt like I was grown and I wanted to be free. And so I got my own, I got a job. I work at a hatchery in Walnut Grove, Mississippi. Worked at a hatchery. And then I was like, I wasn't making enough money. So I was like, how do I get the fuck up out of Walnut Grove? And I was like, oh, let me go to Jackson State. So I went to Jackson State. I stayed there. Did I work? I got work study. I didn't get any jobs from there. I only had work study while I was working. I was an RA. First, I was a work study where I was doing something. I can't remember what I was doing, but something. But then I was an RA, so that was my work study job. When I got custody of my brother, I moved back to Indianapolis. And then I worked for Hewlett Packard, got fired from there for being trans. And that's when I started sex work. Stopped sex work because I found a boyfriend and he moved in with me. That was Jonathan. He moved in with me and started working at Bath and Body Works. What else? Oh, I worked at Corner Wine Bar. I just was having jobs. But then shit got weird with him, and so I started sex working again. By that time, I ended up moving back to Mississippi with my mom. When I moved to Indianapolis, I was living alone with my brother, and then my boyfriend moved in with me. Moved back to Mississippi with my mom. I was still a sex worker. My mom relapsed, and I had to move to Houston. I stayed with my homegirl in Houston. for a month, and then I got my own place. And so I've been living in my own place that was mine since I moved here in 2007. Now I had people come live with me, like my friend Ty. That's when y'all met her in Trans Heart. During that time is when I went back to school and finished. And so once I finished, because I had a boyfriend too, that was long ass fucking story. But once I finished, it just set me up to have more money. I would not maybe, I don't know, I didn't hate it. If I just needed I'm somebody that likes to work, so maybe if I needed just a job, but I don't know. But yes, I've been living in my own shit consistently since '07. So yeah. And if somebody has lived with me since then, it is I still paid all the bills, and that they were just needing help. So like when my son Brandon was staying with me, he wasn't paying bills. um yeah, most people who live with me didn't really contribute to the bills. Randomly sometimes they would, but not consistently. But yes, I do live alone. Yeah, once I stop sex work, I just start to have more opportunities in other areas. I started to have more opportunities. And I was able to, once I got my degree, I was able to negotiate my salary a little bit higher. Not extremely higher, but a little bit higher. Are the characters on your show on TV or a comic? No, they're not. This shirt was created. I talked about this earlier in the episode. This shirt was created by Kat Black. She is a YouTuber, black trans woman YouTuber here you on YouTube. And these are her characters that she has created. And so I bought it about 10 years ago. And so I decided to wear it today. But yes, this is from her collection of characters that she drew herself. Yeah, Cat Black. Black spell BLAQUE. Catherine Wilkins. When you were attending Jackson State University as the first publicly open trans woman, were you experiencing any issues concerning your gender? Yes. I have many, many videos talking about that. Yes, that's how you spell her name, Cat Black. The last one you posted. It smells so good. I really like like this. This is so fire. Okay. Okay, so where Dave, what is he feeling? You are inspired. You have inspired me. I don't know. He stopped talking. Do you wish you was stealth in college so you could have gone further in education, Diamond? No, my transness didn't stop me from going further in education. I got my degree. It didn't stop me from getting what I needed to get done. Um, and I don't think I was passable enough to go stealth. Actually, I don't think I was to that level. Actually, if I'm to be honest, I was fish. I was fish, but I don't think I was passable enough to belong. I feel like I never wanted to be that. Like I don't think I was that girl in that way. I still don't think I'm that girl. I feel passable, but I feel like if you get into me for a long period of time, you gonna clock me. Like walking down the street, no. But if you sit and talk to me, because I don't code switch, I don't try to not be trans. I don't try to do that. I just be myself. And I'm not somebody that's delusional enough to think that if you sitting right in front of me and we're talking for a long period of time that you're not going to be able to pick up that I'm queer or trans or whatever. I don't think I'm that. I'm not delusional in that sense to think that I am super super passable in that sense. It's really hard for me to explain that because I do think I'm passable, but I don't think I'm so unclockable that nobody will be able to tell ever. Like I don't think I'm that. I just think that yeah, I don't think I'm that. I definitely when I was in college, no. Yeah, I just in college I was not as advanced as I am today. Yeah, I think, Dave, I think you just got to take the reins of your life. And I think you need to push your mother to have those harder conversations with your mom. I think you can do it. I wouldn't just let them just be homophobic. Somebody has to teach them to be better. If there's nobody there pushing them, they won't feel they need to. Especially if it's your child, you can be like, "Hey, this really hurts me when you say that." But if you're in the closet, they don't even know that it hurts you. It just doesn't hurt you in that sense. Great, Dave. I wish you well and thanks you for sharing. I feel that way about myself as well. What did you say? I work in retail, and these same ladies would always chat with me. I didn't notice that they were trans for months. Point is, a lot of times we won't get by every single time, even when you're passable. Yeah, I just don't think that I'm not that delusional. How somebody clocks, it really depends on their exposure. It really depends on their exposure. Some people are just more exposed to trans people, so they're able to look at things. I also think it's easier to clock people in your own race as opposed to out, because I rarely get clocked by people who are not my race. Um, I think it's different people. Yes, there's some people who could be around me and they not clock me at all, and then there's some people that are clock me immediately. Yeah, especially if you're not trying. Yeah, and that's another element. I don't be trying. I ain't about to sit here and raise my voice up to whatever. I'm not going to be constantly overthinking passing. Do I want to pass? Sure, but I'm not going to be constantly overthinking it. That's just not something that I'm going to be doing constantly. That's tiring, bitch. Fuck all that. No. Um, I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud, and yeah, I just no, I'm not doing all that shit. Fuck out of here. Um, I'm not good at clocking my friends. My claims are during your semesters at. I spent 3 years at Jackson State. What experience honed your passions to start this movement? What movement? I didn't start a movement. Did you have a lot of men who projected public dislike towards you because of your gender? You were asking me stuff that I've already answered. You got to go back through my videos about school, about just different stuff. These are like very like Diamond 101 questions. You got to go back to my past videos. I have tons. I have a whole playlist for you to watch to hear about stories about me and my younger years. It's a whole playlist, darling. But yes, what you're asking me is quite common for people who are queer. There's tons of men who are going to publicly project dislikes toward us. That's like, yes, of course that happened. Yeah, Jacob, darling, you got a lot of catching up to do. I'm somebody who you got to be past trans 101. If you don't know the lingo, you got to go to somebody else that is on that kind of 101 teaching you about language. If you don't know what clock means, this is not the place for you. You got to go back. You got to do some catching up to do. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend time explaining stuff like that. That's so remedial in queer culture. That's like somebody asking, "What does DL mean?" What? Okay, you gotta you gotta catch up, baby. It's not bad that you don't know it. It's just that I'm not spending time explaining that. I'm not. Yeah, no. So what? Um. Yeah. Anyway. Um. In my experience, back to Dave, because I think this is important to conversation. In my experience, when you have your own safety, your own place, and I'm not talking about some big ass luxury place. I'm talking about just the basic, this is my home. This is my home, this is my place. It gives you a foundation to where you ain't got to kiss nobody ass because I can take my ass home. There's something about having your own place. This is my first time tuning in. Yes. So usually when we have a live we have a theme of what we're talking about, and usually, yes, it goes with a flow, but um, it's a theme of what we're talking about. Currently, we're talking about Dave and being in a closet and dealing with homophobic parents and that kind of stuff. That is what we're currently talking about. And so I don't want to derail that conversation to talk about what does clock mean. I don't want to derail that conversation to talk about my experience in college because I've talked about it so much on my channel. There's tons of conversations that I've discussed that if you want to learn about that. So, yeah, I think it's important to just go with the flow. I've been watching you since you came on YouTube. Sometimes I watch older videos and laugh. I freely use to talk on here. Yeah, I try to talk freely. But yes, having your own place is a great start to have these hard conversations with your parents, because when you live in their house, you live under somebody else's roof, you kind of got to go by their rules. It shouldn't be like that, but you kind of got to. But you can't, if when you have your own shit, it's the foundation for you to have those kind of hard conversations. And you could be somebody who, I don't want to come out to my mom, but why am I sitting in the house with a disabled woman and not being able to be free when I can have my own place and just come and check on my mom? You ain't got to come out to your mom ever. But you still can have those you can have those conversations about anti-homophobic shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can, how are you pushing her to be a better person? Even if you don't talk about your shit. How I'm not can't nobody sit in my face. I don't care where I'm at. I could be at I've done this at like a restaurant. I hear people having a conversation and they're ignorant, and I will tap into the conversation. No, that actually is not true. Blah, 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 blah. And I don't even know these people. You cannot be around me and I not push you to think different. Now, I'm not going to argue and fight and it turned into escalate into something that's weird, but I'm going to drop you the nugget of information that I have. And if it leads to us having a civil conversation about what we're talking about, great. Now, if I see you get hostile and then I'm going to leave the conversation alone. But you can't be in my vicinity and be just homophobic. You can't be misogynistic. You can't be anti-Black. You can't do that stuff in my face and I not push you to be a better person and push you to being more educated about what we're talking about. Like, I'm not doing that. So my mama couldn't be sitting in my face talking crazy about gay people. Bitch, what? No, you can't do that. And so I'm not letting you do that. We're gonna be sitting here and talk about it. I'm gonna educate you. And that don't mean I'm gonna cuss you out or be all. No, it means I need to educate you about this and why this is wrong, why this is bigoted, why this is. I'm gonna, especially somebody that I care about, like my mom, especially somebody that I gotta be in space with. Yeah, we gonna constantly. I'm gonna constantly push you to be better. That's one level of it, and the second level of it, any place that I live, I ain't gonna be disrespected where I live. That I consider my house, even if it's your house, even if it's my mama house. If I live here, it's my house too, and I ain't gonna be disrespected in it. So we're gonna have to talk about it. That's just what it is. I was just telling a young lady I met, she's from Detroit. She lives in Fayetteville, Georgia. I told her it is best that if everyone grown person has their own place. I totally agree. I think you should have your own place. Or at least your own space within your own place. Like, I think you can be a roommate. I think you can, where we are two adults respecting each other in this apartment. You got your room, I got my room, blah, blah, blah. We both contributing to the bills, blah, blah, blah. But I think having your own place just puts you on a foundation of I ain't got to deal with you disrespecting me. I don't got to deal with your homophobia. And they start talking trans LGBT talk and trying to clock it. I sat down the street. I stay down the street from my. I need to get closer so I can read. Sounding retarded. I stayed down the street from my godmother for over 17 years. I haven't even whispered to her. Period. I'm that person too, where I will not talk to you. I ain't with the gay lingo letting me know they know T. Uh, I be looking at them like they're crazy. I don't even let that. I play stupid. Like people, like if you come up to me and ask me, like if I don't know you and you come up to me and ask me, do I know somebody? Like say, do you know T.S. Madison? Or do you know do you watch Drag Race? I play dumb as hell. Do you something that they think? Have you ever been to Montrose? That's the gay area here. Have you ever been to JR's, like the gay club? They'll ask you things that they think will spark it, and I'll act dumb. No, I've never heard of that. Oh no, honey, I'm a Christian. I don't watch that kind of stuff. Period. Right. Oh no. I'm a Christian evangelist woman. No, I'm Mormon, child. I'm Mormon. I tried to do the basic 101 explanation of trans people and she wasn't having it. What do you mean by she wasn't having it? Because and this is labor that you don't have to do, but because it's your mother and you live with her, you should have plenty of time to do it. Do you see what I'm saying? You live with your mom. So when you say she wasn't having it, what do you mean by she wasn't having it? Girl, I actually go to a Mormon church. Oh, baby, I would never go to a Mormon church, child. They can't stay when you pay them dust and use gay ebonics freely. Because sometimes mama sound toxic, no ma'am. She still believes that trans equals gay. Mm, mm. I don't know. I would still. I'm trying to think. I would. When I try to teach people, sometimes you got to go different ways in how you get them to understand things, and sometimes it takes multiple conversations to get them to understand things. And your goal may not be necessarily to get them totally over here, but just to get them to look a different way. I'm not expecting somebody who's just totally against whatever, not trying to, I'm not expecting them to move 100%, but you can constantly teach them about stuff, teach them about different things. Are you tired? You usually don't sit back on the couch. No, I'm just sitting back because my back hurt. But I try. I'm not even educated to do that, to be honest. And perfect. That's actually perfect because then y'all can learn together. Y'all can discuss things together. You can be like, because it when somebody thinks they know everything, it can be almost like a battle. But if it's like I'm learning with you, and then you could Google stuff at the same time. You can look up other stuff at the same time. Like it's many things that it can almost be like not as directly I'm trying to teach you. It could be, oh, well, we can learn together. Let me look up the statistics about this. Let me look up the statistics about this. Let me look up some more information about this. There's ways that you can position it where it's not I'm trying to teach you, but we are learning together. I think that that's something that and I'm not talking about now I do it with random people, but I would only do this and expect somebody to do this with people that they are in contact with in 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 direct contact with all the time, especially if you're trying to create a space where you can be yourself, because that's the goal. The goal is to create a space where you can be yourself. If you feel like you can't be yourself in your home, then it's time for you to leave. Like if you really believe your mother is never going to change, then you shouldn't be in the house with her because that hampers you. You are 31. That hampers you and your freedom. You should be hustling to get a better job, keep the job that you have, and do some other side hustles so that you can be in your own stuff, even if it's in the projects with your mom. Get up how much those projects cost. Yeah, you got to create it. You can't just find it. You got to create it. You got to create peace of mind. Yeah. Yeah, something to think about. I would yeah, it definitely can't be no money situation, babe. It can't be no money situation. I'm not saying that you need to be rich. What I'm saying is you got to be wherever you are, you got to be working to get better. Whether if it's at that same job, you need to be working to be the manager so you can make more money. If you work in the job, then you need to be learning everybody's job so that you can be able to do everybody's job so that you can become a manager and make more money. Then come the district manager. It has to be, if you're going to stay at that job, then there has to be some upward mobility that you're working towards. There's that. And then if you don't feel like that is possible, then you need to have other gigs. You need to have either another job or the side hustles. And it's too many side hustles out here. It's too many remote jobs. It's too much Amazon. Yeah, it's just too many things. It's too many things out here that you can do. I done been in situations where I had a shitty ass job, but I just grew in that. Get cool with the people who hire, cool with the people who can promote you, get all the extra hours. If you got a car, definitely do Uber, do all those kind of gigs, Uber and DoorDash and all that kind of stuff. You can make money. People are out here doing that until they get better, bigger and better jobs. And also, don't be scared to apply to jobs that you're not qualified for. Apply. They might like you at the interview and hire you. There's tons of people out here working jobs that they're not qualified for. Apply. Just apply and see how it goes. You don't know. There's tons of people out here. People without degrees that are in positions that say you need a degree for them. Don't. Yeah, it's tons of stuff out here. Tons of remote jobs, tons of certifications you can get, like IT certifications. I'm trying to think of really low barrier. Forklift. I remember I got a forklift certification, and it took me from making $8 an hour to $17 an hour in the fucking warehouse that I was working. And I was able to get more hours because they needed forklift. I was doing the assembly line, and they needed forklift people, so I could work for the assembly line and I could work for the forklift when they needed people because I had a certification. Bartending. Why are you not a bartender at a gay bar? Go get your bartending license and go apply to be a bartender at a gay bar. Wouldn't that be fire? But get your liquor license. It's so much stuff out here that people don't think, that are low barrier stuff that people don't think about getting, that can take you to making more money. There's so many things. You just got to think about shit. You just got to. I'm not saying it doesn't take no effort. It does take effort. But if you already have a shitty job, then you shouldn't. Anything better should be like, yes. I'm a watch the. It should be like, yeah, I want to get something better. My first job that I got, I had to use a computer. And remember, I'm telling you about a job that I thought was masculine as hell as a trans woman. I was working on the assembly line, and it was only niggas who was doing the forklift driving. Only big ass country ass niggas. And it felt tradie as hell. It was definitely triggering my dysphoria. But I wanted more money. And so I went and got my certification because I would go to the assembly. This is when I worked at Hewlett Packard. I would go to the assembly line, and yes, I can do that. All the girls was doing that. Blah, 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 blah. But we would have like a board, like an extra board. And the job that was having all the spaces they needed people to work at them was the fucking forklift drivers. And so while the assembly line had all the people, I could never get I had my basic hours. I could never get no extra hours. But if I had my forklift certification, I could pick up these extra shifts over here. But they were always open because it was very few people who went and got that certification. Definitely wasn't no girls. And so I was like, damn, I could be making more money if I could go get my certification. Baby, I went to go get my certification. Passed it with flying colors, wore it out. Gagged the fucking supervisor. Because usually girls don't go do that. Got it. And I'm sitting there with my tight jeans on, baby. Riding this motherfucking forklift car. Like the trade do with your cake sitting up, baby. Used to wear that little car out, honey. Living. But it made more money. It took me from making $8 an hour to $17 an hour in 2002. Did I feel like trade on that thing? Yes, but I did whatever I need to do to feel fish. It's just about it. But I didn't know. I didn't know about the opportunity until I seen all them openings, and I was making money. And then also, even at your current job, think about go look at your current job and see what other positions are open in the career. Like go to their website and go to their careers and see what other position is open. Because if you already are in the system with that company, you can, and they already see your work ethic. You can talk to the supervisor in another fucking department. My homegirl Marissa, she's a cisgender girl, but she was a co-manager at a store, and she was like, oh my God, she was tired of working retail, but she loved Bath and Body Works. She loved L Brands. Baby, she asked our district manager what other positions were available in the district in the company that she was working in. What other position would she be good at? Do you know they found her a position where instead of her working like the store, like selling to customers, all she did all the time was fly to other cities and open up new stores. Like she would set up new stores, like set them up, set the whole floors up, get the tables ready. Before it opened up, she would teach the team how to open up new stores. Bitch, that job was sickening. And she went from making $16 an hour to like $24 an hour. And she didn't even have to deal with customers no more. All she had to do was fly to different places in the district and open up new stores. And she wouldn't even known about it if she wouldn't have talked to her district manager. So that's another thing. At your company, ask them what other positions are available that would be good for you. That would be, you get what I'm saying? Go look on the website. Because if you're already in the system as an employee and you have a good track record, you could apply for that position. It could be a whole supervisor that don't know if you exist or not because you're too busy over here, working over here. And your own supervisor ain't thinking about you doing this, but you're already in the company. That gives you a leg up. I had a great lifestyle waitressing. Boom, that too. Waitressing. I hated that shit, but I don't like jobs that I have to directly deal with customers constantly. Like I don't mind it sometimes, but where I gotta deal with customers constantly, I don't have that personality. I cut your ass out. I will cut you out. It's too fast. I don't like dealing with customers like that. I hate it. That's why when I was in retail, I had to be a manager. You only came to me when there was a situation. I don't like having to be in sales and sit and talk to people all the time. Ooh, no. I'm not doing that. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. No, no, no. That has gotten me far. Applying for jobs I'm not qualified for and using that experience to hop to a higher paying job. Period. Definitely don't be scared of that. Definitely don't be scared of it. But it requires effort. It requires effort. Effort, effort, effort. I really love that Raven Simone is in her soft stud era with her wife. Come on, soft stud. At the Glad Awards. Soft stud, baby. Hmm. I think she looks great. I like that she's happy, honey. No problem. I'm about to head up out of here too. It's 30 seconds to 3 hours. Y'all have a good night. I'm about to watch Adolescence. Make sure you thumbs up and subscribe. And yeah, I will see y'all probably tomorrow night chit chatting. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.